Mic check. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Good afternoon or good morning. Thank you all for having me. I'm Professor Jay from St. Michael's College. My name is Jolivette Anderson-Douoning. I want to thank you all for just being who you are as human beings. It's important for us to understand who we are so that we can put our lived experiences in conversation with the things that we study in school and with the dreams that we have, how we imagine ourselves and our futures to be in the United States of America and anywhere in the world. So today I want to share with you a poem. And after we do that poem, I want to tell you a few things about what I believe and what I think we all should be considering as it relates to the death of George Floyd. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me through the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides. Just like hope springing high. Still, I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. Amen. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Those were the words of Maya Angelou. I hope you like that poem. I hope you put this poem in your memory and in your repertoire to learn how to recite it in a way that it makes sense and that it feels good to you. The term nights of terror and fear in Maya Angelou's poem called Still I Rise. I want us to breathe for a second and I want us to think about something that might be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's about learning. What must George Floyd have been going through in his life and just before he died? How should we today view his life and our own humanity? How or what have we been taught about the many different kinds of black people in the United States? I am from the people who were born and raised and lived for the last 200 plus years in the Deep South. So my people are from Louisiana. I come from people that were enslaved on plantations, and I come from people who were free persons of color in the South throughout this time. So my family has lived through the things that you study in school. So when you talk about slavery, when you talk about Dred Scott decision, when you talk about the Civil War, when you talk about the Reconstruction era, when you talk about Plessy versus Ferguson Supreme Court case that said that black people were separate but equal, and they tried to institute that into the everyday lived experiences in the country. So that means that my sister, who's only 4 years older than me, remembers colored water fountains and white water fountains separated in the South. Because just because the laws change on paper does not mean that people's hearts and minds change. So we have to take that into consideration when we study history and when we look at each other and each other's culture. And when we try to understand and process who we are as people first, and how people recognize or identify us when they see us and the color of our skin or what we wear, right? As far as clothing or whether we have on a hijab or not, right? So I want you to think about those differences, right? I want you to think about George Floyd, because George Floyd was a black man from the South. He was born and raised in North Carolina, right? I was born and raised far away in deep South in Louisiana, but there's similarities in the culture of the people from the South, because we were always navigating and negotiating another thing that you will hear about in class, which is Jim Crow segregation, all right? Jim Crow segregation means they separated everything. You couldn't be buried in the same cemetery with white people. You couldn't go to school with white people if you were black or a person of color. So this is how society was. So we have to look at that to say, what lessons can we learn from that history? And how does it affect us and how we think about ourselves, black, white, and every color in between, in this day and age here at Winooski? What do we want to do with this history? So this is about George Floyd, but this is mostly about you, about all of us here at Winooski and in the city of Winooski. How do other people see or think about us? Have you ever thought about that? How do we see and think about ourselves? Have you thought about that? How do we want to see and think about ourselves, who we are in society? And what level of work, intellectual and otherwise, must we do to see ourselves in a positive light that gives us hope and joy, determination, love, respect, and kindness into the future? That is what I want you to think about today in memory of George Floyd. Thank you. I forgot something. These lovely people that, administrate and teach here, they want me to come teach a class in the fall. It's going to be for juniors and seniors, and it's a dual enrollment class, so you'll be enrolled at St. Mike's with me, but I'll be coming here 3 days a week in the fall. So I need y'all who are juniors and seniors to sign up for my class. Can we make that happen? And we'll go deeper about topics like what I discussed today. All right? And I also want to send a lovely shout out to my 5th graders, my Swahili boys, language group. They let them come hang out with me today. I appreciate them as well. Much love, peace, and respect to all.